self-employment income from his dental practices of about $211,000 after accounting for all of his practice expenses. He was married with 2 teenage children. He had just over $30,000 in interest and dividend income. He had adjustments to income of $45,000, which included SEP IRA contributions, a small adjustment to income for his health insurance premiums, and he got an adjustment for a portion of his self-employment tax. He also had itemized deductions of about $47,000. The client reported net taxable income of just over $146,000. He paid payroll taxes of more than $19,000 and had ordinary income taxes of nearly $30,000. His total tax liability was just under $50,000, and he had a 4.5% chance of being selected for audit. So every dollar of net income this dentist earned as a practicing dentist was subject to high levels of payroll taxation. He had high ordinary income tax liability as well because he had no tax planning in his financial life. We took a look at the composition of this client from a tax perspective and implemented 3 basic structures in his financial life that dramatically reduced the amount of taxes he was paying each year. We added an LLC taxed as an S corporation chartered in his home state for the dental practice. We then added a C corporation organized as a dental support group, which is wife-owned. She did all of the bookkeeping for his practice from the home office, and we housed that accounting function within the new C corporation. Lastly, we restructured the retirement plan the dentist was funding. We then gave this client a tremendous amount of support, guidance, and coaching in terms of how to utilize the strategy. The coaching we provide resembles a chess game. It's about strategically moving the players on your board to get the best results. And here's the advice that we gave the client in terms of how to use the structure we had set up. We had the client pay a management fee out of the dental practice to the new C corporation in the amount of $54,000. We adopted a class allocation 401k plan for the dental office, which excluded the high-paid hygienists. We then layered in all of the fringe benefit expenses through the C corporation where they were now paid with pre-tax dollars. We set a compensation formula for the dentist through the S corporation that made sense. Here is how we set this client's compensation. If you remember, this client had about $211,000 of net self-employment income. Out of that income, we paid a $54,000 management fee to the C Corp. This left us with about $157,000 in the dental practice. We split this remaining amount of income equally between a wage and equally between a draw. This planning recommendation reduced our income that was subject to payroll taxation from $211,000 down to $78,000. Within the C corporation, which now had $54,000, we paid our health insurance premiums of $7,600. We adopted a medical reimbursement plan, which is codified within the IRS regulations, and paid for all of our out-of-pocket expenses with pre-tax dollars. We paid for our long-term care premiums out of the C Corp. We paid our children a modeling fee in the amount of $11,400, which was the combined amount of their standard deductions. Lastly, we implemented a reimbursement formula from the C corporation that paid us for use of the home office. We paid ourselves $10,500 a year for this space. Many years ago, Congress added a provision to the Internal Revenue Code that allows individuals to rent their personal residence for up to 14 days without having to claim any of the income associated with that rent. Why did they add this provision? Because members of Congress had a habit of renting out their homes in the Washington, D.C. area, and they didn't want to have to pay tax on that source of income for the short rental period. Why can't you take advantage of that tax loophole? You can. Within the C corporation, we also implemented a solo 401k for the spouse. We put $19,000 into that plan. All of the planning techniques within the C corporation fully exhausted the $54,000 management fee that it received. So here's the bottom line. Prior to working with us, this client paid $30,000 in ordinary income taxes, and he had employment taxes of nearly $19,000. His total taxes were $49,000 and change. After the planning, we dropped his ordinary income liability to under $19,000, and we reduced his exposure to payroll taxation by over $4,000. This client paid about $50,000 in combined taxes prior to the planning and paid nearly $34,000 afterwards. That's a savings of $15,500 per year. His chances of being audited dropped from 4.5% to 0.4%. These results are no different than those the 500 or so dentists that we have helped have achieved by going through this same process. These savings are no different than what you can expect to achieve. Here's another question that I got from one of today's attendees. Here's what I'm hearing. Can I really expect to achieve similar results, and how does state laws impact the planning? The answer to the first half of this question is yes, you can achieve very similar results. Based upon a review of your tax return, we can quantify the level of savings you can expect to achieve on an annual basis. We also do a side-by-side comparison of the two tax returns as we just did in this case study. With respect to state issues, these laws do impact our entity structuring recommendations, as certain structures are not recognized for tax purposes in every jurisdiction. Every client situation is unique, and we fit the planning not only to federal but state tax law as well. Here is also further proof that we are able to generate comparable savings for our other dental clients.
Hi, my name is Brett Friedman. I'm a dentist in Havre de Grace, Maryland. I first met Charlie Dombek and the Optimal Financial Group at a meeting for dentists in Chicago about a year and a half ago. And he was telling the group that basically just because you made more this year than last year, that you don't necessarily need to pay more in taxes, and there's some things that you can do on the tax mitigation side and tax planning side that most accountants don't really want to get involved with and don't do because they spend so much of their time just preparing your taxes. So they just say basically, and this is what my accountants always told me, you made more so you got to pay more taxes. Well, my financial planners were telling me otherwise. They were saying, you know, you need to be doing X, Y, and Z to mitigate your tax liability. So I talked to Charlie, we had some discussions, and he said, yes, you know, these are some options for you in your current situation, and you should really explore them. So we sat down together, and he came up with a plan and has saved me a lot of money in 1 year of tax planning that I'm astounded. So basically, going forward, I'm going to be saving that money year in and year out. And my only regret is that I didn't meet Charlie sooner, and that we didn't start working together sooner. I'd be in a much different financial position, you know, had we met 5 or 10 years ago. But now I have met Charlie, and we're moving in the right direction.
So as dentists, would each of you like to cut your taxes by 25 to 30% a year? Would you, if I offered you the ability to invest $5,000 today to receive a lifetime annuity of $20,000 or more, take that offer? Are you prepared for the impending changes in the tax laws? Are you concerned about the cost of an audit and what they might uncover? Are you getting the right advice from your team of advisors? Is everyone on the same page? Each of you has the opportunity to benefit from our planning. It starts with the development of a comprehensive plan that addresses every aspect of your financial life. With respect to taxation, our goal is to give you a strategic roadmap to reduce the amount you pay in taxes, to give you the tools to control this cost, and to provide you with the coaching relationship to stay on track so that at the end of the year you have a concrete set of instructions to close the year out in a tax-efficient manner. Although we will work to ensure that you are compliant with the tax laws, we don't simply want to tell you how much you made last year, how much you owe, and when and where to make your payment. Simultaneously, while developing a tax strategy, we will develop an overall financial plan integrating the legal, accounting, and financial planning fields. And because we work exclusively with dentists, the advice and guidance we provide will be uniquely positioned for your profession. Our planning process starts with information gathering. We gather up all those important financial documents that allow us to make sound recommendations. We obtain the declaration pages to your insurance policies and order in-force illustrations. We obtain copies of your investment statements that allow us to look at the underlying assets in your portfolio. We get copies of your entity structures, your estate plans, and copies of prior year tax returns and current financial information for your practice. We prepare a debt schedule that allows us to evaluate the cost of borrowing in your financial life. We take all of this information and meet as a team in a roundtable environment where it's our tax attorneys, our CPAs, and our financial planners all deciding what fits best for you. We come back to you in a one-on-one strategy environment and outline recommendations in each of the critical areas in your financial life, and we focus on what you tell us is most important. We provide you with an ongoing coaching and mentoring relationship so that you constantly have a team working in your best interest. We include a tremendous amount of support in our planning package. You get unlimited telephone and email coaching for 12 months. So when you call or need assistance, there's a team of professionals to serve you from the legal, accounting, and financial planning professions where the meter doesn't run in increments of a quarter of an hour. We pre-schedule a quarterly financial review with your strategist so we can review your numbers and integrate those results within your overall plan. We accelerate the meeting schedule at year-end to give you those important tax-efficient closing instructions. We update you periodically with legislative and industry-specific changes so that we can constantly plan in your best interest. Here is the special telecall listener pricing for our planning services. We have two options. There is a pay in full option, which is a one-time payment of $3,495. This price is a savings of $500 off of our installment pay option. The other option is our Easy Pay installment plan, which consists of 4 payments of $998.75. There is an order link on your screen that will be there for the rest of this call today. Our planning services come with extensive guarantees. We offer all clients a 90-day, 100% refund